such a sound. Rain of stones. What was the final outcome of the people of Lūṭ?
There are some chapters in the pages of history that make the hair on the body stand on end when you read them, and the blood runs cold with fear. Can you ever imagine a town where one morning, instead of rain, water, but burning stones fell from the sky? In an instant, the noise of thousands of people, their homes, their pride, everything was mixed with the ground. Not only that, but by the command of Almighty Allah, an entire city was lifted from the ground to the sky and turned upside down. Today, after thousands of years, a huge body of water stands on the shores of the Jordan Sea, witnessing that devastation, which we know as the Dead Sea. But why? What was the crime that made the merciful Allah so strict? Today we will know the thrilling history of that cursed nation, the people of Lūṭ. Subscribe to the channel to spread these true stories of the Quran and be a part of our religious journey. Your support can be a source of guidance for someone and a source of charity for you. Part 1. The beginning of abundance and decline. The people of Lūṭ, or Lot, peace be upon him, lived in a fertile land. They lived right between today's Jordan and Palestine, and their main city was called Sodom. At that time, there were very few wealthy nations like them. Their gardens were full of fruits, and the fields were full of crops. They were accustomed to a luxurious life, but excessive wealth and abundance blind people. The same happened to the people of Sodom. Their morality and humanity reached the bottom. Instead of expressing gratitude for the blessings given by Allah, they indulged in extreme disobedience. They got involved in such an obscene and heinous sin that no nation on earth had ever imagined since the beginning of human creation until that time. They rejected the natural attraction of men towards women, which Allah created as a law of nature. They indulged in disgusting and perverted sexual practices, such as having physical relations with men. The shameful thing is that they did not do this in secret, but rather, they would proudly display this obscenity by having parties in public. Their crime was not limited to this only. They were extremely arrogant. They used to inflict inhuman torture on travelers or wayfarers, looting everything they owned. This wickedness of theirs was making the sky heavy, and they themselves were bringing about their own destruction. Part 2. The enduring efforts of a guide, Allah, the Lord of the worlds, in his utmost mercy, decided to warn this misguided nation. He chose from among them Hazrat Lūṭ, the nephew of Hazrat Ibrahim, as a prophet. Hazrat Lūṭ began to explain to them with great compassion. He said, "O my people, will you not fear Allah? You are doing something that no one in the history of the world has done. Return from this path." He called them to a holy life and warned them of Allah's punishment. But alas, when sin takes hold of people's hearts, the proverbs sound like poison to their ears. The people of Lot, far from listening to their prophet, began to mock him. They mocked Lot, peace be upon him, and his few followers, as pretenders of sacred punishment. Their arrogance grew so much that they challenged the prophet. They said, "Oh, Lot, if you are truthful, then bring upon us the wrath of Allah that you fear." They threatened that if Lot, peace be upon him, did not stop giving this advice, he and his family would be driven out of that town by the necks. Lot became very lonely. The people outside were enemies, and inside the house there were traitors. Even his own wife did not believe in him, but she was an accomplice of those sinners. In a state of extreme helplessness, Lot opening parenthesis, Adadas raised his hands to the sky. He cried out, "O my Allah, save me and my family from the hands of this people who are causing disaster. Help me." Allah accepted the prayer of his beloved servant. The decision in the sky was fine that the destruction of the city of Sodom was now only a matter of time. Part 3. The arrival of the angels and the supplication of Ibrahim. Opening parenthesis, by Allah's command, 3 chief angels, Gabriel, Michael, and Israfil, descended to earth in the form of humans. They were young men with beautiful, slender bodies. Before going to Lotus, they first went to the friend of Allah, Hazrat Ibrahim as was unique in hospitality. Seeing these strange and handsome guests, he quickly presented a roasted calf meat of the sacrificial animal in front of them. But when he saw that the guests were not raising their hands towards the food, an unknown fear arose in his mind, because in that era, anyone who did not eat food was considered an enemy. The angels dispelled his fear and introduced themselves. They gave two news. First, the good news of Ibrahim as having a son Isaac in his old age, and second, the bad news of the destruction of the people of Lot. Hearing the words of wrath, the tender heart of Abraham, peace be upon him, trembled. He knew that his nephew Lot, peace be upon him, lived in that town. He began to argue with the angels, pleading, "Will you destroy a city in which there are people like Lot? There may be some good people there." The angels calmed him down. They said, "O Abraham, do not speak about this matter. The decision of your Allah has been final. A punishment is coming upon them that no one can avert. But we will deliver Lot and his family except his wife safely." The evening of terror in the city of Sodom, the angels now set out for the city of Sodom. When they entered the city, it was late afternoon. On the outskirts of the city, they met the daughter of Lot, peace be upon him. The girl was getting water. He was shocked to see these beautiful young men. He knew how vile the people of his people were. He warned the guests, "You must not stay here. The people of this city are very bad." The girl quickly went home and informed her father. Lūṭ was distraught upon hearing the news. He thought, "Today is a very difficult day." He knew that his people would pounce like hyenas on seeing these handsome young men. Nevertheless, as a prophet, he gave shelter to the guests in his house, trying to keep it as secret as possible. But the enemy of the house was terrible. Lūṭ's opening parenthesis A.S. wife, who was a spy for the sinners, secretly climbed onto the roof of the house or went outside and pointed or directly informed the sinful leaders that, "Today a handsome young man has come to our house, whom you have never seen before." Swallowed by darkness, the news spread in an instant. The lustful people came rushing like locusts. They surrounded the house of Lūṭ. Their eyes were lustful. Their mouths were full of obscene demands. They were about to break down the door. Lūṭ, opening parenthesis, A.S., tried his best to convince them from inside the house. He said from behind the door, "O my people, fear Allah. Do not disgrace me in front of your guests. You have wives in your house. They are sacred to you. Why are you engaging in forbidden acts? Is there not a single good person among you?" In response, they laughed devilishly and said, "You know what our intention is. We want those young men." Lūṭ then said in extreme despair, "Alas, if only I had the power today, or had the support of a powerful group, I would have taught you the lesson." Seeing this helplessness of the prophet, the angels in the form of guests could no longer remain calm. They sighed to Lot, peace be upon him, "O Lot, do not be afraid. We are not human beings. We are angels sent by your Allah. They will not even touch us." Outside, a mad crowd was trying to break down the door. At that moment, Hazrat Gabriel, peace be upon him, flapped his wings, where the angels blew a whistle. Immediately, by the power of Allah, the sight of all the people outside was taken away. They all became blind. Suddenly blinded, they started bumping into each other. They started shouting, "Lot has cast a spell on us. Run away. We will take revenge for this in the morning." They groped their way back somehow. They did not realize that before morning their fate would be sealed forever. The great flood, the night, was deep. The angels gave Lūṭ a final order. "Leave with your family in the last hours of the night, just before dawn. Be careful. No one should look back, except your wife, for destruction is written on her forehead." Lūṭ left the city in the dead of night with his 2 daughters and followers. Just before dawn, the sinners were still fast asleep, some perhaps groaning in the pain of blindness. Little did they know that this was the last sleep of their lives. At sunrise, the first blow of Allah's wrath struck. A loud sound, Siha, came from the sky. The intensity of that sound was so terrible that it was like tearing the liver. Many people lost their lives at that sound. Then came the second step. At the command of Allah Hazurat, Ibrialas uprooted the entire city of Sodom from the earth with a feather of his wing. The entire city, including the homes, buildings, and animals of millions of people, floated into the void. Then it was turned upside down, the upper part down, and the lower part up. It was thrown hard to the ground. The city was crushed to dust. But the punishment did not end there. Then stones began to rain from the sky. However, they were not ordinary stones. They were sigil, or hard stones of burnt clay. Each stone had the names of sinners written on it. Was determined who would die from the blow of which stone. While fleeing, the wife of Lūṭ, peace be upon him, looked back, perhaps out of curiosity or out of love for her people. Immediately, a stone hit her and she too was destroyed there. According to many, she turned into a pillar of salt. Ruins in today's lesson. In an instant, a prosperous nation was wiped off the map of the world. Where once there were fields and buildings, a huge hole was created. Over time, water accumulated there, forming the Dead Sea. Even today, the Dead Sea, on the border of Jordan and Israel, bears witness to God's wrath. According to geologists, it is the lowest point on Earth above sea level, a sign that the city will be overturned. Its water is about 10 times saltier than the average ocean, where no fish or aquatic life can survive. This lifelessness is a reminder of the fate of that cursed nation. In the Holy Qur'an, Allah Almighty has repeatedly mentioned this incident of the people of Lūṭ. This is not a fairy tale, but a burning warning for the future. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has predicted that the heinous deeds of the people of Lūṭ would spread among his nation before the day of judgment. He warned that when obscenity becomes public, there will be epidemics and dangers that our ancestors have not seen. In today's society, in the name of so-called personal freedom, are we not moving towards the same pit? The ruins of Sodom teach us that when sin exceeds the limit, there is no escape from Allah's grip. Let us seek refuge in Allah. May He protect us, our families, and the next generation from this obscenity and perverted taste. May we remain steadfast on the path of Siratul Mustaqim. Last word. Dear viewers, if this terrible true event of history has moved your heart even a little, then share the video and warn others. Stay with us to get more videos on the correct history of Islam and educational content. May Allah grant us all the right understanding. Amen.